everybody. Welcome to Cricket Tracker special show in the air with me, Nivedna Prabhu. Now, of course, it's time for India and West Indies to clash once again. It's time in the third T20I. We know it's been a little bit in India's favor because they have won two of the matches. लेकिन third T20I में क्या होगा कि आपको लगता है that West Indies will have an opportunity to, of course, come back and clinch at least the last one? मुझे prediction दीजिए in the comment section. एंड उसी के साथ लेट मी ब्रिंग ऑन माय गेस्ट ऑन द शो टू फाइंड आउट कि उनके हिसाब से क्या होगा. I have Harish joining me in the studios and let's find out. सबसे पहले Harish, of course, I see that you're donning blue, so it's pretty obvious who you're actually in favor of today. लेकिन आपको क्या लगता है with the kind of the game that we saw in the second T20I? It's not like it was a one-sided game for sure. So do you think the third one, West Indies, might have a chance?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to the show. And yes, of course, I think because West Indies, they have big players in their squad. In terms of like the quality is there. Pollard, Nicholas Puran, who have been bought for like a big amount of money. So these guys have a lot of huge ego as well. So they don't want to get swept in a series, especially considering this is a T20 series and which they have been like termed as the masters of. So I think it will be a lot of stake of pride. Pride of there will be a lot of pride on stake for them, and I think they will have put up much of a fight. They did put up a fight in the second T20I as well, but unfortunately, the decision didn't go in their favor.
In their favor, right?
Yeah.
And I think of course, everybody will be talking about the fact that what is the combination that Team India will be going with, especially with the fact that we don't have Rishabh Pant and Virat Kohli be playing in today. But before we get into the predicted 11, or rather taking a look at the 11 as well, we have the toss update, which is West Indies have won the toss and have opted to field. So we'll come to that first. Do you think that's a good move? How do you look at it, considering whatever has been happening so far in the series?
I think any team would have won the toss would have actually gone for the field first because of the due factor that will come into play. So I think this is obviously the smart and the obvious choice for West Indies, and I think it
Correct.
will actually give them a more of an edge now. I think the
Yeah.
odds are now in 51-49, but
Okay.
still, I think India, if they go bat ahead and they will manage, I think, at least 170, 180 in the bracket of that, I think. And it will be a good chase for West Indies because I think in this, as I said earlier, that the dew will come into a factor. And we also have to see who will be playing for India because
Correct.
Virat Kohli, we know Rishabh Pant, I think, is not also going to play. So it will be a huge boost for the West Indies side also because two major players or some major players will not be there for them. And so a bit of less threat from India's side. So I think yes, this is obviously a good decision on their part to field first.
Okay, an interesting point that Harish has, of course, spoken about. What is the combination that Team India will be going with? So let's take a quick look at the predicted playing 11 because I also have a couple of questions asking Harish ki unke hisab se what will be the ideal playing 11. First, let's take a look at the predicted playing 11. What is your take, Harish, on whatever we see here with the combination?
I am absolutely loving the name Ruturaj Gaikwad there because I am a huge fan of his and I wanted him to play this match and I am expecting big things from him, especially that he is going to play. I hope he comes on the top as an opener for this match and because he has a tenacity to go and play for a huge amount of time on the pitch and do a long innings. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that. And Ishan Kishan, who has been struggling, but it was obvious choice because Rishabh Pant dropped out of the match, so we needed a wicket keeper. And out of all the players that I'm seeing, I think this is exactly what I was anticipating as going to this match, barring the changes that I knew. But Rituraj Gaikwad, I was a bit spectacle that maybe might whether play or not. But seeing him on this team sheet is actually very pleasing to the eye.
Okay, so of course everybody is waiting, and there were the questions on social media also was when is Rutu going to get a chance, or rather
Yeah.
why is he not getting to prove his caliber? So this is of course the predicted playing 11 hamari taraf se. We'll have to wait and watch what the actual playing 11 is. I see a couple of questions asking us who is going to be winning the match. Well, Harish for sure is rooting for India, लेकिन आप मुझे बताइए रिजवान आपके हिसाब से कौन जीतेगा and what is the ideal playing 11? Tell me in the comment section. And we'll also take a look at the head-to-head to find out where both these teams stand and when India and West Indies have clashed earlier. Of course, India having the upper hand. They've won 12, whereas West Indies have won 6. If you could also take a look at India's record at Eden Gardens, and we will get Harish to give us his quick viewpoint here. They've, of course, played 5 and have won all 5. So that's definitely, a good thing for India. But coming back to today's match, there are other exciting things to look forward to as well. If you're, of course, going to be talking about the fact that there was Harish just made that comment saying that he would want Ruturaj to be in. Well, that is the news coming in. Rohit Sharma has confirmed that Ishan Kishan and Ruturaj will be opening today. So, sabse pehle, you wanted him in, but the
Yeah.
combination of Ishan and Ruturaj, is that a great move?
I think it's exciting definitely because Ruturaj, I am hoping that he will play sensibly when he will pace the innings, and Ishan, I want him to go all out and actually what he's known for, like his style of play. So we will have that kind of balance with them, one anchoring the inning and one going blasting out. So I think it will be exciting for the Indian fans, and it is obviously a new opening partnership. So it is also a good thing to see, like India experimenting, because we are keeping an eye on the upcoming World Cup also. It's not just about this T20 match because the series is already wrapped up. Of course, it would be amazing to, sweep up this series as well. But
Right.
the main focus is on the Australian T20 World Cup. So a lot of things going to into that factor as well. I think they are keeping an eye whether which combination, which players to, look forward to. So that's the reason I think they are going with that.
Okay, so that is experiment number 1 that they've gone with to kind of figure out if that combination will work. Also, so many of youngsters, and with the fact that Kohli and Pant will be sitting out today, which is why these changes. But dusri taraf, there are other changes coming in as well. Being that Ruturaj, Shardul, Shreyas, and Avesh Khan are playing tonight's match, which means that Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Chahal will miss out, and Avesh Khan gets to make his debut. So, yet another fantastic opportunity. How do you look at that, Harish?
Actually, I'm a bit happy that Avesh is playing because obviously Lucknow signed him, and I'm from Lucknow, so I want to see him play for India as well. But I think, yeah, as I said, this is keeping in mind not just like the past T20, the past two matches, but the future in mind. So that's why they dropped Bhuvneshwar, because he's undroppable as of now. And but I think it will be it's a very big experiment, to be honest with you. And I think West Indies will be licking their lips seeing the Indian lineup as well, because there are quite a lot of inexperience there. But I think Indian players also, they won't be fearing anything because they are going into this match. They have already won the series. They will play without any fear. So I think Avesh Khan, who is also, who is a very fearless bowler, I think he will shine today, and hopefully I'm hoping that he shines today.
Okay, so we of course have an in-house Lucknow fan. Aap sab, whoever is in the comment section, ex-Delhi fans and present Lucknow fans, how excited are you to see, Avesh be making his debut? मुझे जरूर बताइए, who do you think is the player who we'll have to look out for? Give me all your predictions and of course analysis as well in the comment section. उसी के साथ, let's take a look at the exciting player battles that we have in store for us in this particular, match. सबसे पहले Pooran versus Bhuvi, but of course Bhuvi will be missing out the match. So if you could move on to the next player battle. Rohit versus Cottrell over here, quite interesting that Cottrell, of course, has not got him out as yet. But, Rohit's managed to score 65 against him. Do we have another player battle? And then I'll come to Harish and we will ask him. Okay, so out of the two, of course, the first one will not be
Yeah.
fitting in here. Like in Rohit versus Cottrell, do you think Cottrell might be able to get the Indian skipper today?
Um, I think he can obviously, but he has his performances for West Indies have been obviously been great. But if so far against India, I mean, he has not performed well, as much to the expectations as well.
Yeah,
And so I think it's the Rohit has gone up one on him in this series so far. But I think he will he would absolutely want to get the skipper out of the opposition team. But
right.
I don't think so. It's going to happen this match. But yeah.
Okay, so Harish has made his declaration कि इस मैच में ना हो पाएगा, so probably we'll have to wait for some other opportunity.
Yeah.
लेकिन on the other hand, what can definitely happen for certain players is approaching milestones. So let's take a quick look as to what the approaching milestones are. The first one, of course, we're not going to be talking about Rohit Sharma needing 10 fours to complete 300 fours. If you could take a look at the other milestones as well. And Harish, looking at all these milestones, if you could take a look at more milestones, and then Harish, you can tell me which one do you think is most achievable yahan pe. Pollard and Cottrell looks quite easy,
Yeah, very,
actually.
very, very achievable, I think. Hopefully, the 2 wickets that he needs are not for Rohit Sharma. But I
Right,
think Pollard one is very achievable considering the kind of player he is. He also been not in form for this series, but he is one big game changer for the West Indian side. So I think, and he needs to perform as well and to
Right.
lead by example. So a big responsibility on his shoulders as well today.
Right. So of course the skipper from the West Indian side will also have to step up. But all of you, tell me, what are your initial reactions about the playing 11 combination that India has gone with? Are you surprised, or do you think, in the purview of the upcoming T20 World Cup 2022, ये काफी ideal है? This is a good time for them
Hmm.
to be experimenting, because Harish ne bola hai that they've already wrapped the series. It's not going to do them any harm to kind of see, how to kind of utilize all the youngsters coming together, because Ravi Bishnoi has also proved to be that trump card for India in this series. तो आपको क्या कहना है मुझे comment section में बताइए. And with that, let's take a look at who better than Harish to tell us about what's happening on social media. So let's take a look at what's happening on social tracker and find out what his viewpoint is about all the chatter that's going on. यहाँ पे saying welcome to the live coverage of the third T20I between India and West Indies. How many of you are ready to see this again? Okay, yeah. I'm sure a lot of us are.
A lot of people.
That's not going to happen today. Avish Khan makes his debut for India. Good luck. Okay, of course. Meme tracker, Virat Kohli to his haters. Out of form, soch ke finish samjhe kya, flower nahi, fire him. The amount of people who have said this dialogue, if I had to count the number of times this has
Yeah,
actually gone viral,
I
not
think
surprising.
it's
Made a few.
amazing like how the Pushpa fever has taken over the complete cricket world. So
Yeah, right. And of
it's
course,
amazing.
it's taken over the whole cricket fraternity, and also seeing,
Yes,
people like Warner like mouthing those words. Quite
yes,
interesting.
yes. It's I didn't expect like the creators to take on it as such. They have taken it, and now it's like it's inseparable. I think I'm expecting like one or two cricketers might be part of the Pushpa too, as a cameo role.
We'll have to wait and watch if that's going to happen. But on the other hand, before we wrap up, a question to you. Of course, you're supporting Team India, but who from the West Indian side can really trouble the Indian side? We did see, Powell. I think if he comes into power, then there is no, stopping him. But is there anybody else that Team India should be on the lookout for?
I think one name that comes to mind is Nicholas Puran. I think after his performances, this series has been amazing, and my SRH friends would be like,
Yeah, more than
loving
that.
this. Yeah, loving this right now, and he has actually stepped up. I think when you get like, auction is like just happened a few weeks ago, so it is still in their mind. So Karen Pollard and Rohit Sharma both came on and said that it's time to take all that thing off your head and now focus on the series, but still lingers on your mind. And I
Yeah.
think that price tag is very big one for him. So for him to perform so well in India, I think it's looking great for the SRH fans, and it's looking a bit dangerous for him, saying as an Indian side, because he has been performing good. I think he is due like a big knock. So I'm fearful that it might come today, but I'm hoping that it does not.
Okay, so that of course is the verdict. But before we wrap up the playing 11 for both the sides, let's take a quick look and get everybody to kind of look at this here. Like Rohit Sharma did say that Rutu and Ishan will be opening. Then we also see the other names in terms of even Avish Khan coming here. But if you look at the West Indian side, you also have a good combination there. And with the fact that, of course, Harish just said that if there's one person who could definitely prove to be a little lethal today, might be Nicholas Puran if he's in full form. But before we leave, one thing that Rohit Sharma did comment about after the second T20I was the fact that they were a bit sloppy on the field, despite having won that particular match. Fielding errors is probably something they would look to kind of avoid today, especially if someone like a Powell or a Pollard will be going in full throttles. Probably those corrections Team India will be coming back with. But on that very note, let's wait and watch who's going to be winning this match. Will it be 3-0 for India, or will West Indies clinch this one? We'll have to wait and watch. But on that note, I want to thank everybody for joining me, as well as Harish for taking the time out and coming. But until we see you on the other side to talk about the result of this match, stay tuned to Cricket Tracker for the latest news in the world of cricket.